All right, so in the last video, what we did was we talked about the object prototype. And the object prototype, again, is used when trying to find a property that isn't directly defined on an object. And it can go infinitely nested, too. So I can do manager name equals boss man. Now I can do CEO equals new object, CEO underscore underscore proto. Whoops, I only want 2 underscores there. Equals manager, and then I can do CEO.name equals manager, but then I can say CEO.raise wages equals function console log raise for everyone, and then return true. So what I've done here is I've created the CEO object, and I've made the CEO object's prototype to be manager, which means that if I ever try to do something, if I try to access a property that exists on the CEO, that'll take precedence. So if I do CEO.raiseWage, for example, right, it'll say raise for everyone. So if I try to invoke that, of course, what's it going to do? Remember, CEO.hasOwnProperty raise wage. Because it's true, it then calls it. But again, let's just walk through this one more time. I want to make this, I know that you guys might be getting a little annoyed at me going through this all the time, but it's very important to understand the concept of the prototype object, or the object prototype, rather. So again, if I did CEO.sayHi, it says, hello, I am manager. Well, I am CEO. That would be a better thing. So if I do CEO say hi, hello, I'm CEO. Even though the CEO object does not have that property. So what happens? Well, CEO has own property. Say hi. False. Okay. Well, let's do CEO.proto has own property. Say hi. False. So the prototype of the CEO doesn't have this property. So what does it do? It walks up the chain. And it finally finds that the prototype of the CEO, which is person, does have this property say hi. So now we can go CEO proto dot say hi dot call on CEO. And now it says, hello, I'm CEO. So there's a bunch of really interesting things about this. And by the way, if you're again, the proto property is not standard. It's not something that you should manipulate. In fact, if you do manipulate it, you will have problems because there are a lot of JavaScript optimizations that the runtimes do that involve prototypes. And they're not optimized to deal with changing the prototype like this. Again, the only reason I am using this property is because this is what will happen behind the scenes once we look at what are called constructor functions. But you need to understand what the proto is. It's a very, very special property that's used internally by JavaScript. So, so an interesting thing, actually, is that the say hi function only exists in one place. So functions in JavaScript take up memory. And every time you create a new function, new memory is allocated. Because a function is just an object, and objects take memory. So this is in contrast to other languages where functions are literally just instructions of code. In JavaScript, they're actual things. Every time you see the function keyword, you are allocating memory and potentially creating a closure which allocates even more memory. But the cool thing about this is that we only have one instance of the sayHi function. It's the one on person. Which is in stark contrast to what we did up here. So let me uncomment this out so you guys can see the syntax highlighting. When we have this drag drop list, this reusable widget thingy, every time it's invoked, it'll return a new object with a new instance of a function, which includes the closure if it were to use handle or parent element. Well, it does use handle. So this function captures the handle variable from the outer scope, and every time this function is invoked, a new function and a new object is created. But when using prototypal inheritance, when we set the proto on these objects, only the things that we change are reallocated. So, for example, the raise wage function is a new function on the CEO. So yeah, stuff and things. That is the object prototype. Really, that's all there is the object prototype. And we can expect the object prototype on anything. Like, for example, var ble equals hello world. So I'm creating a string right here, right? Even ble has a proto. What's the proto? The proto is string. So as you see, the prototype of this string contains all of the string functions. which means even though this string itself does not, let's do I don't know, let's do length, right? So let's say we did ble.length. Let me clear out this console actually, and I'll redefine this. Var ble equals hello, and let's do ble.length. So what happens when you do ble.length? Well, first thing it does is ble has own property length, which is, in this case, true because it was reset. Length was a bad example. I should have done, that was a bad example. Yeah, because length is reset on the object, just like how we do manager.name equals bossman. I shouldn't have done a property. I should have done something like, let's do repeat. So I can do ble.repeat 3, right? And it says hello, hello, hello. So that's a function. But the function doesn't exist on ble. I can do ble.hasOwnProperty repeat, and it's false. So what does the runtime do? Ble proto hasOwnProperty repeat, which is true, and then it does ble proto, and then we can do dot repeat followed by call on ble. Yeah, whoops, I need to actually specify a number, don't I? Because we need to specify the argument of how many times we want to repeat. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. And you can do some nasty things with this. So I'm going to go ahead and comment this stuff out. You can do some really nasty things with this. With this knowledge, anyway. So as an exercise, by using only the proto property, so not the prototype property, if you already know what the prototype property is, that's a function prototype, we'll talk about that later. Only using the object prototype. I want to add a method on every single string. All right, see if you can do that. If you want to pause the video. But let me go ahead and show you how you could do this. I'm going to say var dummy equals empty string. Then I'm going to say dummy dot underscore proto dot, I don't know, say hi equals function. And then say console log this plus hello. So what I've done here is I want to make it clear that every single string shares the same object prototype. So I can now do just random string dot say hi. So I've literally added a method to every single string in the language. And this applies to new strings that are created. Also applies to old strings. I can say var old string equals whoa. Then I can say old string dot proto dot ble equals function alert ble, the worst function in the world. And now I can say old string dot ble, and it says ble. Or I can do dummy dot ble. As you see, the prototype of every single string is shared between each other. So old string dot proto equals whoa dot proto. And it's true, because it's the same object. So you can manipulate prototypes after creating objects. Now, I want to do a quick detour for a second here. I want to talk a little bit about undefined. Let's do an example. Let's do an exercise here. I'm going to do var person equals that with say hi function console log say hi. And then I'm going to do var manager equals empty object manager dot proto equals person. And then I'm going to say manager dot say hi. And we know that this is going to work because we've set the prototype of the manager. But what if I did manager dot say hi equals undefined, and then I did manager say hi again? What do you think the output of this is going to be? Because remember, if I do something like a string and then I do dot and then try to access a property that doesn't exist, I get undefined, right? Remember what happens is, what'll happen is it'll do that has own property followed by the property, which is false. And then it'll do that proto has own property, which is going to be false. So that's the string prototype. Now it'll do the object prototype has own property, and then it'll stop because the prototype of object is null. but it returns undefined if we try to access this value. So what do you think the output right here is going to be? All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S. We get the first say hi, then we get an uncaught type error. Manager say hi is not a function. That's because undefined is actually a value, which is interesting and kind of bizarre because when we try to access manager.property that doesn't exist, we get undefined. If we try to access manager.sayHi, we'll get undefined. But there's a big difference between these two undefines. They're not the same thing. This is returning undefined because that property did not exist in the prototype chain or on the object itself. This is undefined because we've actually physically set the value of this property to say hi. In fact, if I opened up manager right here, notice it's an object with one member, say hi, which is undefined. Of course, it also has the proto member, but the console window isn't going to show you that. So what we can do is, so we see that if I did manager.hasOwnProperty, say hi, it's actually going to return true because it's actually set. The way you unset a value on a JavaScript object is with the delete keyword. So I would say delete manager say hi. And then now when I try to do hasOwnProperty say hi, on say hi, it's false. So setting something to undefined is not unsetting it. So this is a quick aside that I just wanted to make very clear. There's a big difference between having an object that has a property that sets the value of undefined and having an object that simply doesn't have that property, even if sometimes you might be confused into thinking they're similar concepts. All right, so I think that's about it for what I wanted to talk about as far as object prototypes. So just to recap, the entire purpose of an object prototype, which is accessible, it's accessible through manager__proto. It's also accessible through, I believe it's object.get prototype of manager. Now, object.get prototype of manager is actually the proper way to retrieve a prototype, but in future versions of JavaScript and on browsers that are named Internet Explorer, or rather Edge, IE 11 supports this, Edge does not, you cannot set, or you will not be able to set the prototype of an object anymore directly. In the next couple of videos, we're going to be seeing how we can set an object prototype indirectly using correct JavaScript code. But I wanted to make it very clear of what an object prototype is. And to put simply, an object prototype is an object that what happens is if a value, if we try to access a property on an object and that property doesn't exist on that object, the runtime will check to see if the prototype has it. And if it has it, then it'll use it. Otherwise, it'll walk up the prototype chain until it hits null. And just in case you were wondering, yes, if you try to make a cyclic prototype reference, like for example, let's say I had a var person1 equals object, var person2 equals object, and I did person1 proto. Why is it doing that? Stop. Proto equals person2 and person2 proto equals person1. Completely valid JavaScript code, but if I hit save, what it's going to do is it's going to say uncaught type error cyclic proto value. So you can't make cycles in your prototype because that wouldn't make sense. Let's say we tried to access a value on person1. It doesn't exist, so it checks its prototype, which is person2. It doesn't exist, so it checks its prototype, which is person1, and so on and so on. Fortunately, Chrome is smart enough to detect such a silly thing that should actually literally never happen. Okay, so in the next video, what we're going to be doing is talking about how we can better manipulate the prototype of an object with using standard JavaScript code that's not going to be potentially removed in a future version, and the proper way to do this. And we'll see you guys then.